So each Sunday, it seems like we're trying something new with our stuff. And so I'm wearing a headset today to free my hands up because I like to use them. And I have to turn that on and off. So I have to remember. So good morning. Welcome, Zoom. Welcome, CCL community. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing this love. I'm seeing some faces I haven't seen in a few weeks and some others I may be seeing for the first time, and some very familiar faces from this full week we have had. And so we open this service today with a beautiful welcome and a heartfelt knowing that you are welcome here.
So good morning, everybody. We have practitioners around the room and around the Zoom holding the high watch, holding the consciousness for this space and for us. So if you're concerned about anything, you're worried about anything, let it go. Let them have it. They will pray for it during the service so that you don't have to pick it up back up at the end of the service. So that we can be here, we can be present to this service right here, to this amazing expression of the divine that is right here, right where you're sitting. So if you will repeat after me, I open my heart to the universe, accepting love and peace.
I open my heart to the universe, accepting love and peace.
I open my heart to the universe, accepting love and joy.
I open my heart to the universe, accepting love and joy.
I open my heart to the universe, accepting complete health.
I open my heart to the universe, accepting complete health.
And so it is.
And so it is. So this morning, as we enter this space together, we truly first enter the space of holiness within us. We open the inner world to the blessing that it is, the holiness that it is already present in you always and forever. Reminding ourselves that this is where we live most truly, most fruitfully, most abundantly, most graciously, with care and kindness, compassion and grace. And we start here this morning, welcoming ourselves, all of ourselves, every bit of ourselves, every corner, every darkness, every light. And we encircle it with love. And as we hold ourselves in this place, we feel the sense of the divine upliftment that is our birthright, that is the holiness that we are. From this place, we bless this service with our consciousness, each and every person here today on their way, thinking of us on Zoom, wherever in the universe, praying with us across the world and through all realms of light. We are holding this space for this service today to unfold in the magnificence that it already is, flow through from the consciousness of love, and bless each and every person so that we may go out in love and grace and bless this world each day, each moment, as we touch this presence. And so we welcome you here today in this presence, supporting this love and opening this service through all those who are participating, each and every one of you. That we know that the voice of love is spoken here and heard here, and all are included from every realm of life and beyond. And so it is.
Kind friends all gather round. There's something I would say that brings us here together, has blessed us all today. Love has made a circle that holds us all inside. Strangers are as family, and loneliness can't hide. You must give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. I've walked these mountains in the rain, I've waddled out the wind. I've been up before the sunrise to watch the day begin. And I always knew I'd find you, though I never did know how. Like sunshine on a cloudy day, you stand before me now. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Love is born in fire, it's planted like a seed. Love can't give you everything, but it gives you what you need. And love comes when you're ready, and love comes when you're afraid. It'll be your greatest teacher, the best friend you have made. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter. Give yourself to love. Give yourself to love.
Thank you so much, Ginger. It's so hard to know whether to clap or stand or hum or fall back into our chairs in ecstasy when you sing to us. So if we'd just like to send a little more love in whatever direction or way you want to send it. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Today's reading is called Being Truly Free, Letting Go, from a book called Daily Om. There is tremendous freedom in letting go. It is liberation to rid ourselves of things that clutter our lives, too many possessions, useless emotions, unhealthy habits, old beliefs, and even people who drain our energy. All these things and more can weigh us down. Every once in a while, it is good to clean out our closets, literally and figuratively. Like pruning dead branches or a snake shedding an old skin, we need to let go of what no longer serves or fits us, so there is room for something new, alive, and vital for this time in our lives. Yet we are a possessive society. We often hold on to things and feelings, relationships out of habit, or many times out of fear of being without. So much of learning to let go is about developing trust. We have to be able to trust that, indeed, new branches will grow and that there is a new skin under the old. And to the degree that we are willing to let go, we are able to receive. When we stop clinging to anything, we realize we have everything. In reality, we really own nothing, and certainly not people. Our spouse, boy or girlfriend, and children are not truly ours. Even if we own the title to our house or car, such possessions can be gone in a moment, taken by a natural disaster, an accident, or financial circumstances. Native Americans could not grasp the European concept of proprietorship of land any more than owning the sky, for everything belongs to the universe, as even we do. When we all allow ourselves to rethink our sense of ownership, it is easier to let go. We no longer need to feel burdened by the responsibility of having to hold on to something. Reassess the value of a prized book collection, a coveted job, and feelings for an old flame. Perhaps it is not necessary to physically get rid of something, but letting go of the power that a person, ideology, or material object possesses is truly freeing. And so it is. So if you all stand and say the affirmation with us. I am blessed as source in love. I am freely awake and alive in love. I walk the truth of our holiness and innocence in our loving. I release my judgments and I am blessed as I live fully in this moment.
Amen.
So it is.
This is a chant that I wrote. I've played it here before. It's called Ho'oponopono. And just sing it with me. I love you. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Thank you. Whether it's to somebody else or to yourself. Sending that love and forgiveness for whatever you hold. I love you. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Thank you.
Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Doesn't matter which order you put those in. The message gets through, and you decide. Which do you want to say first? Sometimes we want to say, I love you. Sometimes we want to say, I'm sorry first, quickly, right? It doesn't matter. So good morning. And thank you all for being here. And thank you for the ways in which you're already here in service by being present, by bringing you, the human personalness of you, into this space. So thank you for that. Today, I'm really struck by something that I've been wanting to talk about, and I've been sort of spinning around it. And it's this idea that we used to be governed by rules from the outside of us. We used to be a society that had so many rules on the outside of us, and religiously, we used to do that too, right? We couldn't practice our own spirituality. We had to actually hear from someone else which was the right way to do that, and how to do it, and when to do it, and where to do it. But now we have all this freedom. We have all these choices. But yet, what are the natural rules? What are the natural ways that we come together, which might sound more like integrity and sustainability? So in the past, whenever we came into relationship with people, we would always be in some ways, and I'm going to call this the older way of doing things versus the newer way, right? So we're doing both because we're still learning all of it. But you can tell by the change, and we'll just talk about marriage for a second. Many of you, maybe like me, have had more than one marriage, and we have learned some pretty intense lessons. Now, before probably 1950, late 50s, probably most people lived by the rules in their marriages. Most people lived by, you come here, you do this thing, you play your role, and you stay here. You have kids and you stay here forever. Whether it was good for you or bad for you, that's what was happening. Now, what are our choices now? You see that since that time, we've made different choices. We've started wondering, how am I doing here? What's going on for me? What do I need? Maybe I don't need to stay in this thing that isn't working for me. So we've had this sort of revolution of relationship where people are saying, like, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. Or I don't want to do this anymore. Or I'm over it. I'm sick of it. I'm done with it. And what we've done is kind of classic human behavior, which is we choose the opposite. We leave. Stay and leave. Those are only two choices we give ourselves, right? And so when we're in this sort of classic human space, which is all too natural and growing forward in an evolutionary process, we start to see that we have other choices. We don't have to just stay or go. There's something else. And through this last, what was the 1950s, like 1,000 years ago, probably at least 70. Probably since then, we've started to develop some different ways of being in relationship. And what this is all about is different ways of being in love. Because we used to think that we couldn't love you anymore if we left our marriage. We used to think that we had to have a fight and break it up and create some real painful stuff, right? Anybody been party to something like that? I got my hand up, right? Come on, raise your hands if you did it. Come on. Okay. And some of us are still participating in it, and I didn't put my hand down yet, right? So when we're developing new ways of loving, we have to learn them, but not only mentally. Our whole nervous system has to learn a whole new way of how can you love someone and say no thank you at the same time. How can you be in relationship and not be at the same time? How can we be in love and not at the same, and not in like at the same time? Maybe that's the word, right? So I feel like we've been navigating like a century of this, because the divorce rate sort of skyrocketed to about 50% And then it kind of stayed there. That's curious. But then if you do it again, your chances of success are worse. And if you do it again, they're worse, which means if you leave, you don't actually learn. It doesn't mean no one does, because now 62% of the people don't make it. So 40% learn something, right? So I'm looking at this in my own life, right? It's like, oh, I just got married again. And this period of time is all about being in love with both yourself and your partner, instead of pushing all that love out this direction. So if you're a woman, or you're in a more feminine mode in your life, you will overdo your loving by instinct. You will overcare for people. You will give too much. You will nurture too much. You will forget all the other beautiful things about you that the other person loved about you. And you may even step into the role as their mother. Oh, God forbid. Anyone? Or if you happen to be in the masculine role, you may overdo your working hard, or your providing, or your linear ways of behaving, or your distancing, and you may do a lot of other behaviors that don't work. And what we end up with is this pulling, teasing, fighting thing in the middle, because neither one of us are making sure that our needs are met first, and then we can proceed with the other. So love is a self-sustaining system that, unless we learn the rules of the universe, just like they show up in our congregation, in our lives, in our marriages, and in nature, we will get kicked out, right? Play fair or see ya. So my son went to a preschool that had this kind of a setup where there were no rules per se, and it freaked so many parents out. But the thing we had was a 2-to-1 parent to child ratio. When something started to happen, we were there. We held them, we took care of them, we made sure, but what we gave them was their voice. And kids know what they need. Make no mistake, they know what they need. 3-year-olds can tell you what they need. I need that truck, but I was playing with it. I need it now, but it was my turn. And the back and forth. Now, as long as no grown-up decides they know the answer, the kids are magnificent at sorting this out. I saw it time and time again. You would not believe it. I wish I had a video camera back then that was like on my phone that I could have done this. Because what the exquisite nature of this interaction, as long as grown-up humans are keeping bodies safe, because children don't know that hitting hurts and those kinds of things, neither do we sometimes. But when we can keep their bodies safe and the truck safe, we could have these conversations, right? With 3-year-olds, seriously. So now we have generations that are starting to learn this as they come up. And we have to see if we're recovering. Are we recovering? Can we learn that to be in love is a responsibility? To be in love with the earth and with nature, to live a life with that, is a responsibility, not a burden. It's a massive, that it tells us what it needs and we respond, and we tell it what we need and it responds. It's symbiotic, it's integrous, it's sustainable. And now we're learning this about our relationships. We can have a marriage that works for a time and a reason and a space that suddenly won't work anymore in the physical realm. So for instance, I had a friend whose husband decided to do a ton of meditating. And he really sort of came out of his body, and he decided that he didn't really have much interest in the physical human world, providing, sexual relationship, all those things just kind of dissipated. He was really like, I really want to go sit on top of the mountain. She loved him. She didn't want to break up her family, but this wasn't really working for her. So through a process of loving each other and respecting and honoring each other, this great new thought showed up of how they could be together. They They kept their family intact, and she had a whole small life all to herself on the side that provided the things that she needed. And then eventually that stopped working, and they did it again. You see, because the form of your love doesn't matter. Your love matters. One of my friends, quite surprisingly on Facebook the other day, who's 46 years old, came out as lesbian, right, just directly out on Facebook the other day. And it was such a beautiful conversation because she had never been a lesbian in her life. She dated many men. She hadn't settled into a partnership. But what she said was, all I know is this is love, and it's with a woman. I don't have anything else to tell you about it. Isn't that the most beautiful way for us to hold love with each other? All I know is this is love, and I want to be here. Can we support that? Can we love each other from a place of this is love? It doesn't mean it supports us in our life. It doesn't mean it's the kind of thing that we want to live with forever. It does mean that we are at choice. What's interesting about human beings in relationships, which I'm distinguishing from partnerships now, as partnership being an easier way to be in love. What's interesting about relationships is that often we're using our sort of more egoic relational systems that are kind of demanding and frustrated and overgiving and undergiving and doing all those things and becoming power struggles. That's how we use relationship. But when we think of it as love, and we think of this person that we love, and then we start to wonder, what do they need? So I started thinking about us in this congregation. I started thinking about, what do we need to be in love with each other, to create a community of love? How do we find our way? How do we ask each other, what do you need? What do you need? How do we widen the field and expand it? How do we find out who we are in this community? How do we find out what we want from this community? What makes it worthwhile for you, who I'm so grateful for, showing up on Sundays? Why is that good for you? And what do you get? And what do you need? Are you getting what you need? Are you going home feeling like, I wish I would have had a one-on-one prayer, but nobody was offering that today? Are you asking us for what you need? So I'm circling back because I left out a comment I was making before, which is the funny thing about relationship is that most often the first thing we do is forget our needs. Have you ever had that experience? We're going to just call it romantic relationship and come away from the community so it's more clear. But romantic relationship, have you ever been like, I'm so in love, I don't need anything. I could go without sleep and food and water and anything. I'm just so in love, right? Anybody? Anybody? Come on, come on. I only got 2 hands on that one. Okay. Some of you I know better, so I'm just going to stare at you. Okay. Okay, right? So we show up as no needs. And then this other person goes, fantastic, no needs, cool. And we fall in love. And then all hell breaks loose. Because we wake up one day and we need something. We're hungry. Bad one, right? We're hungry. We're tired. We're resentful because we didn't stop when we needed to stop. All those things, right? And it seems like it just came out of the clear blue sky. And what do we call that? The end of the honeymoon, right? Bam, the door slams. Ooh, he was so great before. Now he's so. One of my teachers, Alison Armstrong, talks about this as turning princes into frogs. That's us, girls. Wake up. We do that. But they also turn us into, shall we say it? Bitches. Shall we? That's just the word. How do we do that to each other is we lose our way in taking care of ourselves. And then we turn on each other because it must be coming from you. It didn't ever come from me because I was just wandering around a needless world of joy and love and laughter. And you messed this whole thing up. Has anybody ever blamed anyone in your life for messing anything up? All the hands waving, right? Come on. I like it. Jazz hands, everyone. Come on. Yes. So blame is kill. Blame is kill and be killed, right? Guilt, blame, shame. So what if we came to each other? Oh, here's another really nice thing that resentment does. I'm sorry. This is what resentment does. Resentment makes me think that you owe me. Oh, I did all this stuff for you. Right? How many parents? Oh gosh, am I going to make you raise your hands again? How many parents have ever said to your kids, after all I have done for you? They're like, spare me, thanks. We do this all the time because it's the only way we can think of. And it does make sense to us that we did all that stuff, but it's from the past. It's from the past. What we're wanting to call you into is the future. In relationship, we want you to be you. And we're going to call it partnership because it's easier to discern that way. In partnership, we want you to be the best, most loving, beautiful person that you can, that fell in love and that was in love. And how do we get there? How do we sustain things? How do we sustain our relationship with nature? How do we sustain our partnerships? We sustain them by going this direction first and sharing what we need. I need sleep. I need food. I need love. I need care. I need a day when no one talks to me. I need it. What is it for you? Let yourself think. What's a need you've been going without? Just let yourself think about that. If you want to, you can shout it out. What's a need you've been going without? All right, never mind. I won't make you admit that. It's okay. It's tender, right? It's tender. When we go without a need, it always looks like it's not being provided by someone else. But the thing about partnership, the thing about stepping in with each other is that we love each other. And so when someone has a need, we want to provide it. Our hearts reach out and say, yes, what can I do for you? Until we need to stop doing that because it's taking something from us. And then we have a need. And then we ask for ours. And it's a back and forth. And it becomes a dance, a symmetry. And what we say is a sustainable, integrous environment where love survives. Where love is in its integrity, just the way you see it outside today on this amazing, glorious day, right? Within us are all the same systems because we are of the universe that is a self-sustaining love system. And so as you open your arms and say to the universe, I am allowed to ask for what I need from this great and glorious light and love. I step outside and I'm filled with light. I need that. What do you need? What do you ask of the universe? This is a massive system of love that has everything that you are made of. Do you ask? Do you bless yourself? Do you bring it in? Do you let yourself be showered with this gorgeous flow that love gives? And do you give back by treasuring and putting yourself in the field of love so you may spread that and be a beneficial presence to everyone you know? Because you are sustained. We say all the time, we are one with the power and the glory in the field of love. Everything that is an attribute of this system is here. I just have to remember to look for it and bring it forward so it fulfills for me my abundance, my grace. I will need to listen. The universe needs us to listen. So that's how we reciprocate. We give, we receive, we give, we receive. And then sometimes there's a certain particular spot in the universe where we're going to step aside because it no longer does feed us. So a relationship we can step aside from if it doesn't feed us. We can step aside from a congregation if it doesn't feed us. We can step aside from anything because, as the reading said, we can let it go and we can be free. But what we also want to do is check out where our love is. And if our love is there, we want to be free in our loving. We want to be free to give and free to receive. We want to be able to say, I need something from you. So for the longest time, we've been saying to our members, and I just read it this week and it caught my eye, we don't need anything from you, just sign up. You can just be a member. It's actually probably not totally true. What do you think? Do we need something from you as a congregation? Yes, we are a community. We are creating a community. So what we need from our community is what our community needs. And then we can provide what the community needs, and then the community can provide also. So it's this sustainable give and take. Well, what are we doing but mirroring that which we say we are, which is love? We're mirroring the sustainability of the natural world, the sustainability of our personal partnerships in partnership with our community. So we can discern for ourselves, is this something I love enough to tell it my needs and to be received, and then to receive and give back in the infinite give and take of love? And so breathe right now in and take in for you what you need. This is my need. And now give. And as we do that, as we do this, it's a grand dance. It's an opening for us to receive that which others need. What do they need from us? We join in a community like this, I can guarantee you that half of you at least need a hug. That's an incredible thing to get. You can't just walk down the street and randomly hug people, especially since COVID. People are freaking out about that, right? But we need to be touched. It's a human need. So when I was single, that was a much bigger thing, harder thing to come by, but I made it my priority. But sometimes I didn't notice that other people have a need not to be touched. Sometimes, not all the time. I don't need to judge their thing. So if we can accept each other for who we are and find those that match with us, that fulfill our needs and that we fulfill theirs, we have the blossoming of the most beautiful creation, because it is full of creation. It is full of love. And as I look around this room, so many of you, every one of you, are giving. And yet, have you received what you need? We have one of our major supporters, Jane Hobson, right, who sets us up, tears us down almost every Sunday, and is on our board and our bylaws committee. And where is she today? She's homesick. Did we ask too much of her as a community? Maybe. Maybe she was doing that thing where she loves us so much that she gave so much to us. And Jana, if you're watching, I hope you don't mind me using you as an example, right? Because what I want to say to this community is, I love you so much. I don't want this to happen again. I don't want this to happen to her. So where is my love? Where do I step in? Because I'm like, no, that's not going to work. So as a community, what we're doing now is building. We're building ourselves. We're recovering from COVID, right? We're like, oh, we could come on Zoom. We can come in person. We can do whatever we need to do. The community still needs. We used to be governed by rules. Practitioners had like, this is how many hours you need to show up for these people, and you got to do this and you got to do that. We don't have those rules anymore. So people are showing up because they want to. And they're showing up how they can. And they're showing up when they can. And sometimes it means we might need a few more people to do this. So what I'm inviting all of us to be aware of is, are you in a love relationship with everything in your life where your needs come first? so that you are whole. You remember how we say you always give from your overflow? So you are whole. You go out and get that hug you need. You come to church. You give your friends a hug, or you say, I need someone to go to lunch with this week. And I need you. And if you can, you say yes because you want to, because you love them, not because you have to and you should because they did something for you. What we're providing for each other is who we can be in the future. How cool is that? I'm not asking you to ever do anything in your partnerships with anyone that is not true for you, is not what you want to do, and does not come from love. What I'm suggesting is we might notice that there are ways in which none of us are actually receiving what we need and ways in which we're not giving what is needed. And it often just comes from blind spots and not knowing and not understanding. And in this community, there are plenty of people who are giving a lot. And coming on Zoom is giving a lot. Everyone is respected and accepted for giving a lot. And if you love what you have, you give what it needs. And this is the conversation that we begin with ourselves. Do you give yourself what you need so you can stay in love with yourself? So that you can walk around the world as this beneficial, gorgeous presence that you are. No excuses. You just are you in the most awesomely fulfilled way that you could be you. Do you let yourself take care of yourself first? And then from your overflow, do you go looking for where you want to give your love? And do you find your way into that love? And then do you ask people what they need? And then do you give them what they need? These are all powerful, exciting, beautiful ways to live, because what you get and what they get is freedom. Everyone's telling the truth, and there's freedom. No one owes anybody. There's no shoulds, right? You're not shamed into this. You're not doing it because they owe you. You're not doing it there's no sticky substance here. And if you're looking to be reminded, you just look outside and see how it works out there. And then bring that in. If I love myself enough to honor my needs, listen to myself, honor, value, and empower, that spells LOVE, get my needs met. This does not mean outside of each other, it means with. And then off we go, bringing it back in and out of the infinity system, you and I, right? The words through Jesus of the Christ consciousness that say, love your neighbor as yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself, but you can't do it with the whole airplane mask thing until you are whole inside. So give what you love to yourself and then give out from yourself to what you love in order to have it grow in your life. So as we talk to the flowers and as we water the flowers, whether it's the universal rain or our own backyard, they grow. As we water our friendships and our community and our colleagues, they grow. So we invite everyone to consider this whole new way of partnership. When I joined this community, what I said is, last time I did this, I quit because I forgot me. I forgot me. And I gave and I gave, and I also had small children and a marriage at the time. And I gave and I gave and I gave, and I collapsed. And truthfully, since we're sharing with each other intimately, because we are that kind of community, last night I collapsed. This is my work to not overgive. This is my work. It is no one out there doing that. This is my lesson to see this And this is what showed up this morning to talk to you, because I love you and I want to hang out with you all the time. And I want to go to lunch and I want to go to dinner and I want to go to this and I want to, and next thing you know, I haven't been home. In here, like come in the door and get up and go. So I feel rejuvenated this morning because I recognize that I didn't have to crash my whole ministry, which I had to do 10 years ago. I just got to crash for one night and really say, oh, I am not doing a good job here. So I love this community. I love all of you and I love what we're creating together. I love the beauty of what we're bringing. And I love how many of you I feel in this conversation. So let's keep talking. Let's keep this openness. Let's keep this intimacy real with each other. And let's make sure the needs are being met around us, through us, as us. It doesn't have to be hard or strenuous. It's just what is. It is true of a system of love that always works to sustain itself. And you are integral to that system. You are not outside it. You do not deserve more. You do not deserve less. You do not deserve a pedestal. You do not deserve to be knocked off it. We are one. So breathe this into who you are right now and check out what you have given. And if there are any ministers or practitioners in the room that have given more than they have to give, also I invite you to wander into this space. How do we create a community without letting that take us over? What a curious opportunity. What a great way for us all to learn to be in our lives as love, supporting that which we love, giving and receiving in the most graceful dance of the breath. And so let us breathe together. Remember how easy it is to nurture yourself first, and then to nurture with your out breath, in and out, in the direction of you, what your heart calls you, what you love, where you are, who you are, and learn all the lessons along the way. This will give us the future selves, our whole selves. This will give us our future in every moment as we step into the full velocity and power of love in our lives. Let us pray. Let us all remember the beautiful, holy blessing of love that is surrounding and enfolding us always. This field that we refer to as the one we are the one with. We're not connected, we're one. We lean in, we lean out. It's all the same thing. As I give, I receive. As I receive, I give. And sometimes I need to receive and sometimes I need to give. But it is still one. And in this oneness, I am also truly, wholly human and divine. I am here in this beautiful, powerful, strong body, touching this earth right now, living the God that I am, the divine beingness, the holy, intimate infrastructure of all things. I am living that as I remember to breathe in and fill myself with love, power, opportunity, creativity, grace. And I know what I need when I need it. And fill again. And once again, ready to give. This is the beauty of life. All ways, all days, all times, all nature that we are. We are one. This CCL community is growing and we're finding our way and we're flowing and we're bumping and we're laughing and we're teetering on the edge of extinction, and then we come back and then we don't know, but we are love. Will we learn how to love? This is the grand experiment that you are invited into at this moment. We bless this community knowing that it is none other than the outpicturing of that which Spirit is holding in its mind as the creation that it wants it to be, center for conscious living, right here in Morristown, New Jersey. Let us rejoice and have fun in the fact that we are here learning and we are bumping up against it as we learn. Perfection is not human. Perfection is divine. In our humanness, we are foibles. We have missteps. We have forgiveness to make it all better again. We accept that we are human and we accept our divinity. In the holiness, we bring those hands together. We place them on our hearts and we acknowledge the truth that we are all love, all blameless, shameless, wholehearted in the one. And so it is.
Thank you.
Yeah. We might think it is and we might feel it is, but we know it is. We know it is. So it's time for our offering. And an invitation to begin this offering is for me to acknowledge some people who have heard some of the needs that we have this morning and who have come here with their gifts. So let's just take a moment and really acknowledge that. And so I am going to ask you to stand if you were one of those people. So get ready. So, Anne Delaney, would you stand because we're going to appreciate your altar this morning. And somewhere in this room is Peggy, who is doing refreshments this morning. And John, yeah. And Julia, who are both doing our offering this morning. Thank you, Julia. Alex, thank you for meeting us here for setup. So look at your chair. Thank you. And now we're calling them the media team because they're so amazing. So Wayne and Marty and all the people that are doing this, please stand up. It is taking a village, calling in Bill Marcioni from his own service in Philadelphia. And again, let's just give one huge appreciation to Ginger Coyle. Ginger Coyle, who has a new album out. We want to support that also. Needing, loving, giving, receiving, right? In the very back, we have Linda Rika, who is on a camera in the back doing some pictures. And how about this? If I have missed anyone, would you stand up and acknowledge yourself for the moment? It's just June. June is on another mission right now. So it's okay. You're on a mission of some kind. So we'll just. So, yeah. Yeah. Notice what you're up to, what you're doing, what you're playing. And now we're just acknowledging those people here today. So please remember that we know that many of you are involved in many other things and doing lots of other things. Lots of other things behind the scenes. So when we are talking about giving and receiving, when we are talking about sustainability, when we're talking about community, we're not going to hide behind, we don't need anything from you. That's not true. Because the way this works is that we give and receive, we give and receive. And so you, from your fullness, give and receive also. If this is meaningful to you, it sustains, it grows, if whatever it is. And CCL is like the cat that came back, right? It comes back the very next day. And it will come back straggling and it will come back full, depending on how we invite it back. So just let that land inside you for now, for the future, forever. Blessing us all. We cannot enjoy CCL without all of us enjoying it. And all the love you have to give is all that this community will shine forth with. Time, your talent, and your treasures are all fully recognized. And we are so deeply grateful. And everybody just bow to yourself and then to the person next to you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Zoom. Thank you. Thank you for creating this. And who shall we be in the future? We bless your contributions, and I invite our ushers to come join us. I met John in the parking lot. He was wearing this exact same outfit. I was wearing a big black coat. I'm in awe. Would you like to do the prayer with us? So,
Sure. Will you join us with blessing of our offering? Thank you, God, for this abundance that is mine to share. I bless this gift and give it to thee in gratitude and joy knowing that as I give, I do receive.
Thank you. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Sing this for yourself. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you. And so for all of you, these are our gifts that we have received. And we bless them with the abundance and grace and overflow that they have come to us today, knowing that this and even more is possible in the higher realms in love and light, that we are fulfilled and fulfilled in the holiness and the abundance of this moment. Thank you for your gifts. Every single one matters. And so it is.
Newfangled microphone today. Just learning it. So, CCL, if you are here for the first time, we're going to ask you to please stand. We have a special blessing for you. Anybody here for the first time? Woo, brave soul, yay! Anybody with a birthday or anniversary? Okay. So, if you all will raise your hands and repeat after me. Welcome to the Center for Conscious Living. We are a heart-centered spiritual community. We open ourselves to you in love. We recognize the perfection of God within you.
We recognize the perfection of God within you.
We celebrate the joyous being that you are.
We celebrate the joyous being that
You
you
are
are.
a radiant point of light,
You are a radiant point of
and we
light.
are blessed by your presence.
We are blessed by your presence.
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
So this is what's responsible for the sermon this morning. We have a new members thing going on. And we keep saying, we won't require a thing from you as new members. We just keep saying, we won't require anything from you. And then you get here and we're like, can you help? Everybody's like, wait a minute, it's a bait and switch thing, I think, right? So we don't require anything in terms of dogmatic demand for you to think like anyone thinks, except I suppose we do ask that it makes sense what we're saying and that you receive that as a gift. That's probably the one thing, and that you participate in your way as a gift also. So what that means is we are inviting people to become members, because some people who think they're members here are not. And the cool thing, if you become a member, is that you get to come to the new member gathering, even if you've been around for 20 years, but you never were a member. So people like Marty who's at the center of so many things for us, is now a member, and he's totally. Okay, Linda is just becoming a member. So we don't have like secret tags on you so we can figure it out. It's like we have to go looking. So if you don't know, every time we are, when you go to your newsletter, what you'll see is a little button that says register to be a member here. And if you don't know, guess what? You can just press that button and it'll just go, oh, you are actually already a member. We'll just update your records, like if you have a new email or something. So you can press that button without worrying. It's not going to undo you. And in the past, sometimes there was a thing where you had to re-register every year. That doesn't happen anymore. So you just need to register once. And just for the fun of it, you feel like clicking buttons, because sometimes I like to do that. Go ahead, because it won't hurt you. You can't get hurt. So basically what I said did you have a question? I didn't hear you. Okay. If you need to share that with me again, I need you to come and talk to me because I can't hear you from over there. Pushing buttons. Oh, well, Mama, register the buttons. Okay. Speaking of buttons, there's a lot of buttons on your newsletter that lead you to do things like we did yesterday, which was a very beautiful whole afternoon of a prayer workshop that we were gifted it by Rev Carol Lawson, who is the founder of this community. She sort of gave us the funds in order to buy something. It was like, woohoo! So when we were at Anton, that was what we chose and we brought to you. So I want you to know that was extremely successful. It was a wonderful experience for those of us who were there. You will getting some follow-up on that. And just keep your eyes open, because when you need things, we can give them. And when we need things like you coming to play and you being part of things, we'll be happy to reciprocate if we see you there. So new member gathering, May 12th. So if you haven't pressed the button, now's the time, because you're going to get a party. So, and then we do just want to invite you with very loose, free, open arms to come into this community of love and give fully from your overflow, as we will give to you. Right now, there's no button in the back, unfortunately, but there are papers that you can fill out. And if you're not getting your newsletter and you don't know anything about that, please let us know. Let us know. We are currently nominating board members. Do you all know that? Have we told you that? Well, we are. So we're looking for 2 slots to be filled in our board, and we are excited to see who in this community is interested and willing and wanting to step in. Sometimes I hear people say step up. I'm like, what? Is that a step up? I don't know if it's a step up, but what we are asking is, can we step in? Is that a place where we would like to serve? Do we have special expertise? Is there something about us that we think this community could certainly use you press the button, we'll answer. So some of the positions are just regular member at large positions, and some also there are possibilities for, treasurer and secretary and things like that. But what we're asking you for right now is just, is anybody interested? We'll give you an application. You can fill it out. Your best friend can nominate you, or you can nominate yourself. There's no shame in thinking you would be good at this. We would love to hear about that. Okay, so if you have the time, the talent, and you have the ability to do so, please let us know. We are a board that very much enjoys our communication and our time together. And we always start and end with prayer, and we always live in that field. So that is also another way that we get our work done. Please join us in prayer Tuesdays through Fridays on Zoom. That link is everywhere that we can figure out to put it. If you're new, please come to me. It's on this piece of paper. I can give it to you or anybody else. We're there from 9 to 9:30 for sure. And if we're praying and we go till 10 sometimes. You can come and go as you please, and you don't have to verbally participate. You can just come and be there in the energy of love, which is what a prayer is, communion with love. What did I say? I'm sorry, that's Pacific time. It's noon Eastern time. Speaking of being in 2 places at once. Anyway, so thank you, Wayne. Thank you. So 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon, New Jersey time. You get your own special time, New Jersey. So who do you talk to? I think you could start with me or these two people, or actually anybody who would probably point you to many different people. But I think you could start with me and with these two, Reverend Paul. Thank you, Reverend Marlene. Thanks for asking that question. I appreciate it. And if you ask a lot of other people, you'll hear a lot of other answers, but we'll get to you. If you ask, we'll get to you. So just to let you know, we do have a Course in Miracles class that meets twice a month. 27th is the next. And our next service will be a meditation service with Mary Law, who will be joining us. It will be a lovely service. And I will be joining in person on Zoom on Easter. So, and then from there, we have more things. We have a men's group, Course in Miracles group again, and other Sunday services. So we have a big month coming up. We have 2 guest speakers, Dave Schbach on one week and Pankaj Sharma. Many of those are favorites of you, some of you. And then we also have our wonderful Reverend Paul and all sorts of things happening. So that's your newsletter. It's a cool thing and it has lots of buttons. So yeah, go do that. All right, let's finish this service up today, and we bless you and thank you for all you bring. Prayer requests, they should be on your seats, but if they're not, which they're not, okay, so prayer requests.
They are. Most of, I ran out.
Okay,
Most of you have.
Great. Great. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for mentioning that. So most of you, except those of you in the front, have prayer requests on your seat because we apparently ran out of some today. So please feel free to fill these out. We love to pray with you. We love to commune with you and divinely live in the field of what it is you need. And we shall deliver in that manner. Thank you so much. And we are moving into
A circle.
a circle.
So all rise and we'll form a circle, holding hands.
We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. The joy. We let the joy wash over us. We let it be. The peace. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. The love. We let the love wash over us. We let it be.
like to take a moment to invite the Season for Nonviolence sharing for today. Peggy, if you would join me here. And if everyone could share from where you are, you're part of that. Yeah.
So as part of the Season for Peace and Nonviolence, we've usually had the peace pole in the middle of our circle, although our peace pole has gone missing. So we'll imagine that it's in the middle of our circle, and on all sides of the peace pole, it has "May Peace Prevail on Earth" written in different languages. So I'm going to give you a little history. A peace pole is an internationally recognized symbol of the hopes and dreams of the entire human family, standing vigil in silent prayer for peace on earth. Each peace pole bears the message, "May peace prevail on earth," in different languages on each of its 4 or 6 sides. The message is often referred to as a peace prayer. And the idea of the peace pole was first brought up by Masahisa Coyle in 1955 in Japan. And the first peace poles outside of Japan were constructed in 1983. And the Peace Pole Project today is promoted by the World Peace Prayer Society. Peace poles can be made of many materials. Most are made of wood, while others are made of limestone, copper, plastic, or stainless steel. And the text could be painted, carved, etched, welded, pasted, or riveted on. There are estimated to be 250,000 peace poles in every country in the world, dedicated as monuments of peace. So I'll begin, and if "May Peace Prevail on Earth" was written in German, it would say, "Möge Friede auf Erden sein." Jeff? French. Thank you. Keturah?
In Hindi. Darati Par Shanti Ayam Ho. In Hebrew, it's Yashir Shalom Kol Hadma. And one more, please, if you understand. In Swahili, it's Amani, Inaweza, Kuntamara, Dunia.
Thank you.
In Russian, Благословится мир на земле. Ukrainian, Нехай панує мир на землі. And Dutch, Mogen vrede heersen op aarde.
And Reverend Katherine?
In Arabic, which is unfortunately on my phone and illegible as it's written here because it's in actual Arabic. I would prefer, and I will ask your forgiveness for this, to say what we learned last week as a greeting in the Muslim world, which is Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam, which is I wish you peace and I wish you peace back. So we can say it to each other for that moment, and the forgiveness that I don't have the correct one with me.
That was beautiful.
Assalamu alaikum
Salam alaikum.
wa alaikum assalam.
Alaikum assalam.
Thank you.
And June?
I will attempt Mandarin.
Beautiful.
May peace prevail on earth. Thank you.
May peace prevail on earth. Thank you. Thank you, Peggy. Thank you, everyone, for your contributions. Reverend Marlene? I think Marlene's doing the benediction.
Am I doing?
It's okay, honey.
I am doing.
For once I didn't jump in.
And all, let's just take a collective breath together. Breathe in love. Breathe out peace. And knowing that today is a day filled with love, a day filled with peace, a day filled with joy, a day filled with overflowing of all of these. Knowing that this community is one that is infinitely connected, and that there is mutual respect and helpfulness that happens. Knowing that this beautiful community goes out, each individual goes out and brings light to where they are. That is who we are. That is our message. To share the light, to share the love with everyone that we meet. So as we depart today, know that you are the light. Feel that you are the light. Be the light. Grateful for this community, grateful for this congregation, grateful for Reverend Katherine, for Reverend Paul, for each of you. You are what makes up this beautiful community. So go out, spread your light and your joy and your love and your laughter, and be you. And so it is.
Are you ready? Something wonderful is happening to you right now. In all my activities. See that? I share it. I accept it. Just the way that it is. I'm accepting all these gifts we say.
Have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed day, everyone.
You as well. Enjoy.
Thank you. Have a great week.
You too. Bye-bye.
too.
Be well.
Okay.